I don't know if I want to introduce our guest right now. I'm so angry with him. I just found out that our guest today, Leonard Wu, which by the way, congrats, Marco Polo.
Thank you.
Coming up July 1st. Yeah. Got a
Netflix.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there, not tell people where it is.
Marco Polo is pretty popular. I'm sure they know where to find it. Not the history
The
books.
person?
I found out that Leonard does the same Wing Chun class as me.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him in class.
I know. Because I was filming our teacher, instructor Brian. I told him last year when I had to leave around June for Marco Polo, I was like, I'm taking off and I'll be back in the new year. I still haven't been back. So sorry, Brian.
He was on the show.
Was he really?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Amazing man.
Small world, Hollywood.
Small world.
Yeah. And Jessica had invited me. Jessica Van.
So,
she's the one who invited
Jessica Van, yes,
Yeah.
who we still need to have on the show. She's in Rush Hour this season,
Yes,
which is
yes.
great.
And you shot Awkward with her, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Look at this little Wing Chun family
Yeah,
here.
Small worlds.
Brothers and sisters.
Jessica's like the Kevin Bacon of the Wing Chun world.
I have to bring this up on air. We met on last year, I think, 2015, on
Yes,
a
that's
pilot
correct.
audition for The Librarians.
Right?
And I remember I saw you signed in and
Good
Joe
memory.
Lee, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, you're with Joe. Joe's a good guy.
Great guy.
He is. Joe, I know you're listening to this, so I'm just going to say it. Me and Leonard said why we like you so much is because you're a no bullshit guy. You're a straight shooter.
Yeah. I've been doing film and TV now for about 12 years.
Mhm.
He's been my agent my entire career.
Wow.
12 years or so.
So he's okay. Like
He's
overall.
He's all right. I don't want to keep him around.
That was an interesting script. It's out now, I believe, The Librarians, right?
Yes, it was really successful. I think season 1 was really successful,
Mhm.
and they're doing season 2 now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite successful. Noah Wiley and Rebecca Romaine
Yes.
and a bunch of y'all.
TNT?
Yes.
And do you remember what role you went out for?
Was
Was it like the bad boy of the
It
group?
was like the thief guy, and it went to this Australian Asian guy. I don't remember his name, but
Gotcha.
he's quite fantastic in the show. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
Best of luck to him.
Yeah. See, they're not hurting. That show's doing really well. So
Who did you go out for?
The thief guy, the same role
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Leonard.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, do you go for wild card roles every now and then? Because that's what I feel
what
like
do you mean,
whenever
wild card?
wild card. In the room,
Right.
I'm gonna say 50% of my auditions, I look different from everybody else,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, I'm here for a reason, whatever that might be, whatever either Joe or somebody else pitched me as. It's like, hey,
Right,
not exactly
right.
what you're looking for, but he can bring something
a little
interesting.
bit of a different flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think I used to get that a lot more,
Mhm.
and recently it's probably a lot less so. I don't know if it's Joe and my manager kind of zeroing on a specific thing, but I tend to, where it's kind of like you got the black version of Leonard and the
What?
the yellow. You know how it's a colorblind casting in terms of when you say like the not. You're talking about wild card, like you're the wild card, right?
Yes.
Generally speaking, like I go in for the ones where it's like every color under the sun. It's like it's either that or it's like very specific, like
Gotcha.
Asian gangsters or
ethnically diverse.
Yes,
There's
yes,
no
yes.
specific.
They have
Right,
nothing
right,
in mind
right.
for...
And
So-
that's always interesting to me.
That's how I think it should be more often.
Yes and no.
It's a hit or miss because sometimes it's like they have no idea, right? It's like zero clue what they want, and it's almost like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Well, and also if the type of story you're trying to tell. If you're trying to do a biopiece about an Irish person,
Well, that's
you don't
different,
want to
but-
have like open to all ethnicities.
Fair enough.
But when you're dealing something along the lines of television where it's a series, like we've talked about this before with like castings, there's certain shows that are now taking the approach of trying to be a lot more, like what do they call it? They're trying to say it's more true to America, of like they're trying to
Absolutely.
have like more
Yes.
ethnically diverse castings. I feel like that should be
That-
happening more.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, it's great that they're heading in that direction, and it's absolutely important that they kind of they're able to kind of have that shift how they see the world and include everybody, which helps.
I
certainly.
was gonna say that would almost at first thought make casting's job harder.
I know, right?
But the more I'm thinking about it now, then it's like, well, no, because it's almost the same because there's so many people out here. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's so much competition. So it's
Right.
like, all right, if this is going to be open to all ethnicities, then let's really start delving into the person's talent or what they can bring into it, their uniqueness.
Right. Totally.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think then the actors have an edge whenever it is more ethnically diverse. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. What do you think, Leonard?
I to be honest, I think it probably varies from casting director to casting director.
That's true.
It really depends on, I think there's something to be said, having like worked behind the camera, I think there's something to be said about knowing specifically what you want. That makes it a lot easier in a way.
Yeah.
When you kind of blow it wide open, you're like seeing everything, your focus gets kind of muddled. So I can see that that's difficult. But at the same time, that need and inclusion of diversity is absolutely important.
Right.
I mean,
Because I feel like a lot of times when even when I write something, I kind of don't really know. Like I'll either have something set in mind or just kind of like, oh, there's that person. But I feel like an actor can be able to bring something to a character that would inspire a writer. Like I feel like that should be done more, where if you can find the proper actor that you're just like, that's you.
Right.
Like that is 100% the character. That just changes the storylines in so many different approaches, depending on, like ethnic diversity in a cast can help you tell so many more backstories than just your standard ones that are, if you're all like, is that make sense?
Yes. And I want to actually branch off something you just said, because if they find somebody who is really unique, let's say they cast Leonard in the lead of something and they didn't expect to cast somebody of like Asian descent, right? They're like, well, this is going to shift some other casting choices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bring my parents in or whatever. Yeah. Like,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Because maybe they had in mind like, oh, we're going to bring in this person for the mother and father, but it's
Totally.
like, oh no, we really want Leonard, so we have to change them.
Yeah.
Even though that was our initial idea.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving pieces.
Totally.
And that's why, again, as an actor, you can't take it
No,
personally.
don't take
You
it personally.
can't. You gotta forget about it.
Yeah.
Which I'm becoming much more comfortable with, by the way. And after this pilot not going through, like I said before, first day bummed.
Yeah.
Next day,
Yeah.
totally fine.
That's great. That's great.
It's weird almost. And then like
I think that's such a
It's
healthy
the
thing to,
business.
it's a business. Like it's understanding. I mean, and I think I think we all actors have these moments where we're just kind of like we kind of come, the roller coaster. And,
yes.
But in general, I mean, it's absolutely important to know that it is at the end of the day. It's like, forget about your ethnicity. I mean, you could be too fat, too short, too tall. I mean, you got to match up with what 5 other
Right.
series regulars or whatever, and who knows what's going on behind. You just don't know.
Something that people reply to whenever we've said stuff like that, or maybe even myself at a certain time, I would say, well, this is what I really want to do, and I can't help but feel bummed. I can't help but feel upset, and I'm really
You love
upset.
it.
And so I think a solution for most people, for most actors, is to realize the reality of a situation. There's a certain limited number of TV roles and
Right.
movie roles out there
Right.
that are done by networks and cable and etc. and by filmmakers and studios. Not everybody's going to be a TV star. Not everybody's going to make a decent living off of acting.
Mhm.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
that
I
you
mean,
have.
they say what is like 90% don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Something absurd
Something
like that.
absurd. Yeah.
So that's a reality.
Yeah.
You can't change that. You can keep grinding and going for it, which is fine, but you have to accept that reality. So the next thing you can do is create your own content.
Mhm.
Be happy with what you have. And when you are acting in those moments, whether it's a project that you create on your own or that maybe a friend is like, hey, I'm doing this web series, enjoy it and be thankful for those things. Not be in that mindset, well, I want more.
Right.
Because that, I think, is super unhealthy.
That's dangerous.
If you can't be thankful for what
Yeah.
you have,
Yeah.
well, how are you expecting to
Totally.
deserve something bigger than that?
Yeah.
It's hard. I understand that. And maybe some people have this sense of entitlement, like I've grinded for 10,
Yeah.
15, 20 years and I still
so
haven't
has
gotten
everybody
any-
else.
Yeah.
But then I say
Yeah.
to them who are thinking that, well, what law or what rule was it that said that if you grinded for 15 or
Exactly.
20 years
Exactly.
or
That you were
5
go-
years,
that
you were
gonna- yeah,
entitled to get this?
Yeah.
Where did that come up?
Right.
A lot of it too is opportunity. I know someone that is doing really successfully that is like 6 years younger than me, and
Yeah.
I was just like, they told me like, oh, like I think one of my shows is getting actually moving forward, and I was just like, part of me was just like, damn, you are like 23, like I fucking hate you, but that's so exciting for you. I'm like, but it's like you just had the right opportunity, and it's a very good project,
Yeah.
and I am 100% behind you, but it's just like and then you just gotta go, all right, well, if he can succeed at that, and I 100% think that's amazing, like, it's like what we were saying before, where it's like you want to be just as good as that person, you want to like get to where they are and like
Right.
push your work even harder,
Right,
and then you
right.
just kind of like have a realization for yourself.
Absolutely.
But I also think that if you're creating your own content, because we've always said that to people, like, and that's how the industry seems to be going right now, is if you're not working, make something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it as unique and as like original as possible. Like, think outside the box. Like, try to do something that's gonna get people's attention, not in a gimmick, but like in a more like, what haven't we seen? Like, because if you're doing that on your own, you're throwing that online, that's going to be something that I think could get you a little bit more attention,
Absolutely.
which is exactly what we were kind of talking about too, with like thinking outside the box will also probably help other people to see you, to want to cast you in something that didn't initially think you would
I mean,
be good
I'm
for.
hearing like one of the top 3 things when they're looking in casting now is like, I mean, because of online presence, it's like how many Twitter followers you have, or how many Instagram followers you have. So that is a very, very like pertinent thing to be concerned about, and
Yeah.
create your own content online and build your own followers, and the studios will come knocking on your door.
Yeah, there's no excuse, and I'm going back to this because I get it. I know people who are working, 5-6 days a week on a job that they don't necessarily like, but it at least pays the bills. And so it's like, all right, now that you can do that, unfortunately, that's the time you have to set aside for that. So what are you doing on the weekends?
Right.
What are you doing on your time off to really immerse yourself in your craft? Is there anything you do to kind of stay in acting shape, if you will?
I mean,
Whether it be hobbies or like acting class or
yeah. So I'm back in acting classes. Just I work a lot on audition technique, because I mean, after I came off Marco Polo, I was rusty. Pilot season, I was like, oh, it's a different discipline from being on set. So kind of had to get those muscles back in gear, and just try to stay sane. I mean, like I'll do a lot of, like, I like doing art, so I'll paint, draw kind of by myself, or do
Great.
volunteer work. I think volunteer work really helps keep me sane.
Yes.
In a way. Like I've been helping out a lot with like animal foundations, helping out abused dogs and stuff like that. And it's just it just helps. It's a nice balance, so that I'm not just focused all the time on me, which as an actor, unfortunately, we can kind of get when we're going through the struggles, the turmoil, that we can get self-absorbed. So I try to stay away from that.
Being of service. Isn't that
Yeah.
the most wonderful thing you could do as an artist, as a human being?
I think it's important. Yeah. For all human beings. Yeah.
It really does
if
balance
if you have, and Marco Polo kind of afforded me that luxury where I was like, the biggest thing I had been on, so I didn't have to worry financially the way I did before. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go help take care of animals.
That's a great instinct to have. I mean, at the end of the day, too, it's like when we all pass away, which is going to happen. I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure we're all going to.
I made a deal to live forever.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
No, give it 20 years. The science is.
Which I'll continue with this thought, but did you know they started? I believe it's a collagen or stem cell, some type of thing. It recreates collagen in your skin. They're building
Really?
a big place in Nevada. It's like $1 billion investment kind of thing. People are going to be going there because, like,
Yeah.
as you get older, your
Right.
skin doesn't make collagen anymore.
Right.
Anyway,
When you need those
check it
lip
out, guys.
injections,
Yeah.
you're gonna look great
Right.
forever.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you have to look back at your life and be like, okay, was I of service? Did I help people? Did I feel good about what I did? I don't think it goes back to like, oh, did I book that guest spot on NCIS?
Totally. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Just picture your dying words are like, I worked with Mark Harmon.
I want to talk about Marco Polo a little bit.
Yeah.
So when did you film that?
So I flew out to. We filmed in Hungary and Malaysia in 2015. So I left for Hungary June 1st, and I was there until September, and then I flew to Malaysia from September to December.
It's gotta be amazing.
It's quite amazing, yeah.
Did you have to work out for this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think Joe might have told me a story where you were kind of overworked, maybe. Yes, no, perhaps, or just intense. It was an intense workout.
It was intense.
It was intense. Okay,
it was intense. It was intense for everybody. It's exhausting. 6 months of working out. Basically, when you're not filming, if you're playing a warrior on the show, if you're not filming, you're working out. You're training of some sort, whether it's weaponry, martial arts, lifting, horseback riding. You're constantly moving. So everybody's kind of exhausted by it. So it's like you're running a marathon at sprint pace. So yeah.
Wow.
That's gotta be cool, though, man.
It's amazing. Like,
For the first 2 months, but then afterwards, you're like, "Can I have some fries?"
well, the funny thing is that when I got there, they were like, "He's too thin. He's too small." To my the person who was in charge of my diet, they said that Jensen, get Leonard bigger. We need him way bigger before we start filming. So I had a month, and so everybody has a different protocol in terms of what they have to eat. And so for me, Jensen was just like, eat everything. I'm like, done.
Ooh.
And just because I had to put on muscle, but I had, by virtue of eating everything, I was putting a lot of fat on too. But we worked out so much that I was still able to stay relatively lean. And I put on 15 pounds in a month.
Wow.
And that was probably the hard part, was because workouts and everything you can manage, but the problem was that I had to eat thousands and thousands of calories in the morning when I woke up, and then try to go to the gym and do a massive workout and keep everything down, and that's hard.
God.
Yeah, so that was difficult.
Not only that, but putting that amount of muscle on in such a short time. I'm sure you were stretching and doing that kind of stuff, but ligaments and tendons kind of take a little bit of a damage toll on that, because all of a sudden it's a shock to how much muscles being attached to them.
Yeah.
And then the weight, it's not a gradual increase where they can gradually strengthen as well.
Luckily enough, Jensen was he's an amazing movement coach. And,
good.
He knows all that stuff.
Oh, good,
And
good.
We had amazing trainers. I mean, you're talking about top athletes from all over the world that they had there. So
Awesome.
we were in really, really good hands.
Good.
So, I mean, as grueling as it was they would just push you to that precipice where you're like, I want to die. Because they knew where to draw the line. And
Good.
So, yeah.
Would you say it's more difficult for someone to start a program like that or to maintain it later on?
Oh, that's a good question. I think start.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the shock. I remember, the first week, I was so sore. I mean, I like to stay fit, relatively in shape, when I'm not filming, and so I exercise. But this was on a whole other level, because it would be, get up at 6 a.m., eat as much as I could in the buffet downstairs, try to digest it, a 9 a.m. pickup, go to stunt facilities an hour away, and then do heavy lifting for an hour and a half, quick break, do martial arts. It could be jiu-jitsu, judo, kung fu, it's swords,
Oh my God.
and
This is
for
like
another
a dream.
hour and a half. And then after that, eat lunch. And I'll be in between. I'm drinking protein shakes,
Oh my
trying to
God.
gain weight. And then
That's
after that, go
intense.
horseback riding. And horseback riding in itself is, and I've never ridden horses before, so it was quite difficult. It's exhausting. I don't know if you guys have ever done, but it's quite taxing. And so that
God.
and it's one of those things by itself is enough of a workout. You're doing all three
Yeah.
things in one day for a month, on top of the rehearsals and the wardrobe, and it gets exhausting. But it's what an amazing, I mean, how often, I mean, talk about bucket list, right? It's people look at 300 or whatever and they say, I want to be able to do that.
Right.
And it's I got to do that. I don't ever need to do it again, but I got to do that.
Well, what motivates you through that breaking point? Getting up every day, having to do, is it just literally knowing what you're working for?
Even that, I feel you kind of because you don't see the results. You can't, every day you look in the mirror, you're I don't really see it. But then everybody else is telling you, they're John Fusco would be the creator of the show. He'd be you're looking great. I can see you putting on a lot of mass. You're doing a lot of hard work. I'm that's really motivating. And then just seeing how hard the other actors and the stuntmen are working, you're just like, oh, don't be a bitch. Be a bitch.
Oh, I love
That's
that you
great.
said that.
Don't be
Kill
a
the
bitch.
inner bitch.
Yeah, kill. Try. And that's not to say I wouldn't whine and I wouldn't bitch, but you do it as little as possible, because the shit that these actors and actresses and the stuntmen go through every day is everybody's doing the same thing, so don't complain.
I would love to do something like that on a shoot with like a buddy, because I think having that buddy, if you guys are doing that stuff together, it's like
It's
amazing,
motivating.
very
No,
motivating.
totally.
Because if you're by yourself,
Yeah.
that's got to be miserable. Like I believe The Rock did that for Hercules. Did you see Hercules?
I did.
Okay.
Did.
Did you see how
I mean, Rock is always, but yes, he's like,
dude?
he's gigantic.
He was
He
like a
dwarfs
horse.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
he's huge.
exaggerating.
No,
Like he
yeah.
stood next to a horse, and I'm like, he's another horse.
Yeah. Yeah, he's huge.
He
So
ate.
did he train by himself for that one?
Yeah.
Or you say-
So he basically he ate like 5 times a day.
right.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
he trained. He woke up at like
4 a.m. Yeah. I read
Eat,
his Instagram.
train,
Yeah.
eat, train,
He's
eat,
religious
train,
about it.
eat, train for like 5 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, of
Yeah.
course you're going to get that big.
Right.
But, side note, I love The Rock. I love his motivation. I love his
It's-
his work ethic is just,
Every day, 4 a.m. Yeah.
love it.
I just read an article too about the reverse, where it was Chris Helmsworth coming off of the Avengers and having to do another role where he had to lose like 25 pounds.
Yes, for Rush.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And then he I guess the entire crew was like, or the entire cast had to lose weight for it. Or I don't think it was Rush. I think it was something
It's,
he had to lose a lot of weight for the role.
It wasn't the one where he was a racer? I thought it was.
No, it's I don't know if it's an upcoming one or something
Then it
where
was,
he
then it was
Ship
the-
crashed.
Yeah,
It's
the,
ship crashed.
the
like
one
the-
about Moby Dick or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they
something
had to
like that,
lose
yeah.
so much
Okay,
weight
gotcha.
for that because they were like starving at sea, and I guess the whole crew of actors like band together to like try to motivate
makes
each other
sense,
by
yeah.
like literally only eating like vegetable soup that had like super low calories, and like not eating together was like the worst thing for them, that they had to like create a community to support one another for that.
You know, it's important. Like that kind of stuff is like, it's so helpful to know that somebody's going through it with you, and then having somebody to, or it's
You're
It's-
not eating?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not eating.
yeah.
Good, let's do this together.
You know what? If you ever need to lose weight and you want to do it somewhat healthy, and you can only eat like, just like a small meal a day to supplement during the daytime, you take your vitamins, etc.
Right.
This stuff right here,
What is that?
Mate.
yerba mate.
Oh, okay.
It's filled with antioxidants and amino acids, which I didn't realize that.
Oh.
Where do you get the straw?
It's just a filtered straw. You can buy it off Amazon. Make sure it's stainless steel, so you're not,
Huh.
sucking on rust.
Now, are you trying to lose weight? or
That's
is that-
a
is that
weird
just a very
phrasing. I
healthy
knew
thing?
as soon as it came out. Anyway, what's that?
Are you trying to lose weight, or is that just a very healthy?
No,
thing
it
to
just keeps me. It's caffeinated,
Okay.
so it quenches my
Right, right.
hunger, and it keeps me focused and helps me burn calories
do?
through it
Nice.
whenever I need to focus, like out here. Whenever I don't have this stuff, it's because I remember when we first started doing the podcast. Oh yeah, and even before you came on, Nicole,
The old days.
the old days where we were in another studio, I would be so tired
Yeah.
after doing the
It was-
podcast.
It was also a freaking sauna when we were in
Oh,
that
really?
little
Okay.
studio.
Yes,
Like we
but
couldn't find the AC because it was like the entire studio was shut down except for our technician.
ment-
But it was just like a furnace in there. We'd be like sweating.
mentally, I would go
Wow.
home and just watch Family Guy. I need something to like dumb me down. I'd be
Right,
sitting there like,
right.
I'm tired. I don't want to think about anything philosophical or deep
Uh-huh,
about
uh-huh.
the business. I'm done. I'm like,
And now that you take that, it's like,
oh, it's fine. And,
It's
and
fine.
we've been doing it, so it's
Okay.
like I'm not as tired as I used to get from doing. But it is a mental workout.
oh,
Did you find that with the work with the Marco Polo training as well? It's a
Yeah.
mental workout.
no, yeah, absolutely. Like you need that time, like after you've all banded together to go through a grueling workout, or you need that time alone. Like I needed alone time. Like I spent a lot of time in the bathtub. And they have the most, this is neither here nor there, but Epsom salts help
Yeah.
when you're, but so I don't know, I haven't seen it here in America, but in Hungary they have like Tiger Balm Epsom salts. So it's like you Tiger Balm your bathtub and you can sit in it, and it's
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
I'm like, I haven't seen that here, and it's the most amazing thing. It's just like,
I need to get this. You know why? After
my
Brian
Tiger
Chance What's that?
What does it mean by tiger balm?
It's like a Bengay. of those-
Bengay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's like
okay.
taking a Bengay bath basically,
Oh,
and just
wow.
like so everything just loosens up and so much less painful.
So Brian Chan, he was a guest on our podcast at Kung Fu. I'm calling him a Kung Fu master. I call him Sifu whenever we're in class and stuff.
Absolutely.
I think he's just shy about admitting it. So that's,
He's very modest.
Yeah, very modest.
Very sweet.
but our conditioning training that we did about 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was the first time ever after, I don't want to say ever, but like I put ice packets on my forearms and just let them stay there. Like I just a whole bunch of ice packets because of the we were doing northern Shaoloo conditioning drills. Do you know what I'm talking about for the bone?
Oh, were you doing it on the dummy?
No, we were smashing each other's arms into each other, and they were doing lop sao.
Yeah.
And you're basically like
Toughening your bones.
this forearm bone, forearm bone, and the top part right here.
Yeah.
You're basically like making calluses,
Exactly.
calcium deposits on your bone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Bruising in the process.
Yeah, and then we were doing leg checking as well, and so my entire outside of my thighs are just because it's the IT band, and I have a tight IT band.
Me too. Yeah.
So they're all just black and blue for like 2 weeks, and so I'm gonna try that. I want to get some of that.
I don't even know if they have it in America, but I would swear by that stuff in Hungary.
I gotta find that.
And then when I went to Malaysia, they didn't have. I was in a place that such a first world problems. They didn't have a bathtub there, and I was like ready to cry because like I needed it because the workouts, and I was just like, yo, I need bathtub time. Because my body was in so much pain.
It helps.
Oh my gosh.
When I was in Chicago, shooting Zubiquity,
Mm-hmm.
I had free time. I was working out like a hardcore and like running and stuff. And what I loved is I loved taking cold showers.
Oh,
And-
wasn't it cold in Chicago too?
Yeah. So the water coming out is like 33 degrees.
Oh,
But I'm telling you, it helps with recovery so good.
it really does. Yeah, it really does.
And it keeps you, it just
Wakes you up,
invigorates you.
invigorates you. Yeah.
So out here in LA, we do not have cold showers.
Mhm.
Like it's not, the water's not cold, especially during the summertime. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Jordan looks like you're disagreeing
I
with me.
disagree with you. I've taken your technique and like
You don't like it?
no, I love it. It's very refreshing, but like my water in my apartment is freaking cold.
Okay, I
So-
need colder water. Or I'm used to it either way.
Maybe.
But,
Either that or
adjusted.
I'm definitely like
but my new apartment
Total
that I'm moving
wimp.
into next week, it has a bathtub. So I'm excited. You know, maybe once a week I'll get like 2 bags of ice
Take
and
ice
just
bath.
take an
I've
ice
never
bath.
done that. That sounds painful.
I did it for the ice bucket challenge, and that was before
is
I
that
was
an
like,
ice bath or did you just like plop in there and get out?
there was ice in the
I
bath.
saw the video.
Oh yeah, no, I plopped in there for maybe 5 seconds and just got out.
Yeah, I can't.
There's
can't.
no way.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be beneficial, like after a Shaolin
Yeah.
conditioning training,
Yes,
where your
totally.
body's in pain,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I don't care.
Right.
I need
Totally.
to stop the pain.
Yeah.
Those cryo chambers.
Yeah.
I heard about those. Yeah.
Are you on the mic or no? Okay. Nicole just said cryo chambers, which Joe Rogan is a big fan of
Right.
those. And if you go to his Instagram, he has pictures of himself in there. It's
Okay.
negative 200 degrees in there.
What like what is the benefit of that? And like one, how long do you stay in there?
It's like
no more
30
than-
seconds. You're in and out.
Oh.
No more than a minute too for people who have
Yeah.
done it before. But you have to cover your ears. You have to wear a face mask. You have to wear underwear. You have to wear gloves and socks. So, if I'm not mistaken, one of the
So I wear it
benefits
every
is
night to bed.
right after a severe workout, that cold constricts everything.
Right.
So it's basically like putting an ice pack on your entire
Yeah.
body. And there is a chemical that gets released. And if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with Dr. It's a female doctor. Oh my gosh, she's blanking out on me. Anyway, she talks about there's a toxin that gets released, the benefits of taking ice baths that basically make you feel good. It keeps you alert, and it promotes like neurological activity.
I heard that I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that like when you actually take cold showers and all that stuff, you actually, especially right before bed, your body burns more calories because you are slowly trying to warm up.
Oh.
Your
I
body's
believe that.
trying to like heat you more, so there's more.
The benefits
exertion.
of the cold have been, studied at great lengths, especially now because Wim Hof. Have you heard of him, Leonard?
No.
Check him out. There's
Okay.
a great Vice documentary on him.
Oh wow. Okay.
He barefoot Wait, no, excuse me. With just hiking, like claw boots
Uh-huh.
and shorts, shirtless, climbed Mount Everest.
Oh God.
Okay, I think I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
He
you do.
developed a
Yeah.
breathing
Okay.
method, and he's done yoga most of his life, but a breathing method in which you can control the the uncontrollable parts of your body, like your adrenal system,
Okay.
your immune system.
Wow.
And they did tests on him, and they saw that he was able to fight neurological bacteria or something like that,
Wow.
and like basically have no symptoms from it because he was able to control do the breathing. So they're like, okay, you're an anomaly, you can't teach anybody else to do this. And he's like, no, anybody can do it regardless of genetic background, age, health, etc. So he got like 2 weeks training with like 16 different people. They took the same tests in a hospital. They all passed. They had no symptoms after they injected them with this bacteria.
Wow.
Yeah. So check out his breathing
Okay.
method. Check him out. The guy is totally legit, but it's amazing what you can do with. He talks about the cold, why it's important to take
Yeah,
cold
yeah.
showers and stuff.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna take more cold showers now.
He swam underneath like. So this is a cool story. They asked him to do this thing where can you swim underneath the ice for like 50 yards or something.
I saw that. That's why I know. I saw.
Okay.
I saw them shoot that. Yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
saw them shoot that. Yeah.
So he was like, they were like, we're gonna give you some time to train. He's like, no, if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. So
Right.
they set it up like in the next week or whatever. He goes in there. His eyes freeze. His eyeballs freeze because the water's so cold. He can't see anything while he's swimming underneath there. He misses the mark. Yeah, he misses the mark, and then he starts going back. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they had a diver come in and help him out of the.
Yeah.
But on the Joe Rogan Experience, he talks about how at a certain point he was okay. Like he was like, I'm probably gonna die right now, but I'm okay with that. He eventually got his vision back because his eye.
Wait, was his eyes? Did you have to have his? I guess you had to have his eyes open and they froze, right? Or did they like just
No, I think he was wearing goggles, if I'm not mistaken. But because of the coldness of the water, was he wearing goggles?
so
or
cold
do you
he was
remember?
going blind?
From what I remember, I think he was.
Okay.
But
Makes
yeah,
me
I only remember him going under the. I just like that's fucking crazy.
His method is really interesting. People should check it out. But yeah, we're actually almost out of time, Leonard. This is what a amazing conversation. This has been everywhere.
Yeah, it's all good.
Before we go, I've got 2 questions. Have you ever had like a good bad audition story you could share with people?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think every actor does. No, I remember a couple years ago, I went in for this pilot, and this casting director, I went in, and it was like something out of a movie. Like the cast, I was like, I'd never experienced it before, but this casting director, she didn't look at me at all, but she wasn't filming, and she didn't look at me, and then her cell phone went off in the middle of the audition. And she answered it, and I was like, oh. And yeah, it was just it just completely threw me off, and it was a terrible audition.
Wow.
I think she had just written me off as soon as I walked in. So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that I don't know. Have you ever experienced anything like that? Like where the
Yeah,
actual
I've-
casting director's cell phone went off and they answered it, and was like they just didn't.
I didn't experience that. I experienced where her office phone rang, not once. She like grabbed it and hung up,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Sorry, we'll start again." And then we did it a second time, and I just kept going with it. And she's like, "I'm like, can we do that again? I'm so sorry." Like, she's like, "No, it was good." I was like, your phone rang again." Like, I didn't say that, but I'm like, "Okay, great." And then
Yeah.
like walked out, and
Yeah. At least she had the courtesy to start over once. Like my casting director just kept going. I was like, okay. It was terrible. It was
I had a casting director tell me once at the end of a scene, and this casting director was kind of not notorious, but some people have had bad experiences with this casting director. And he says to me after I'm done, it was a comedy. I put a little button on the scene because I thought it was natural.
Sure.
It felt right. It's what I like to do sometimes. He's like, "You like to put buttons on scenes, don't you?" And I go, yeah. I'm guessing you didn't like that. And then it just got weird from there on. And he was like, no, it's okay. Sometimes you just got to be careful. And I'm like,
oh, that's so funny.
well,
I think
why'd you bring it up then,
pretty sure I
man?
know.
Like,
Yeah,
then I felt
Yeah.
bad afterwards and cried. I didn't cry, but
yeah.
I cried internally.
You know, you leave the office and you cry. Yeah.
I didn't cry, Jordan. I was strong. Well, before we go, is there one piece of advice you can give to actors out there who are, hustling, struggling, working hard?
Yeah, I'm kind of pragmatic about how I approach the whole like business.
Mhm.
In all honesty, it sounds silly, but for me, I'm like we kind of romanticize the notion of like the starving actor who finds that one role that propels them to fame and glory. But when you're in the trenches, you know that that's like 1 in a million. That person who's able to, and the rest of it's just a slow grind. Now, in order to survive that slow grind, for me, it's 2 things. Can you put food on your table and a roof over your head? As soon as you can't do those things anymore, you quit. If you can't eat, you can't sleep, you quit. Because reality gets in the way of your dream. So as long as you can keep doing those 2 things and have the flexibility to kind of get better as an actor, keep pursuing it, go on auditions, take classes, then that's kind of how it's a marathon. So you just keep grinding it out and
Love it.
put food on the table, roof over your head.
Awesome. And yeah, that's great, man. I love it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
That's great.
If you're on Instagram or Twitter, can people...
Yeah.
follow you?
I
People-
am
people-
Leonard Wu, W-U.
I am Leonard Wu.
Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
Thanks,
Jordan,
guys.
Yes.
thanks for co-hosting, man.
Always a pleasure.
What shirt? What? Real quick, what sweater is that?
That is little Jane Lynch from Hollywood Game Night.
That's hilarious.
Which
you
was
stand up?
renewed for season 5. No, I cannot stand up.
Okay.
I'm good.
I just wanted to stand up.
Renewed for season 5, so I might be working on the new season. I just literally work on the show for
Congrats.
the sweatshirts. That's all. Like
Nice.
every season we get a new one, so that's what we're there for.
Nicole, thanks for doing what you do. Appreciate it. Nikki592, you can find her. Thanks to GVB Studios. Gabe, thanks for everything you do for the show. We really appreciate it.
Be
What's up?
sure to check out our new show starting up, starring Nicole, Actors Anonymous News. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be a great resource for you to get all the acting tips that we do not provide on the show, like news articles and stuff that we post all over our social media. So it's going to be very interesting.
It's gonna be great.
It better be great, Nicole.
Nicole's gonna be great. She's
Great.
great.
She's
great.
great.
She's great. At Sam Keish, you can find me. Thanks to our listeners. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it so much. Seriously, I love doing this show for you guys. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't think so. No, we're good. Check out our new
Yeah.
website. We got some new stuff on there. It's really fun.
Same website, just looks cooler.
ActorsAnonymousPodcast.com. Always remember to listen, think, and then talk. And a big thanks to Audible.com for sponsoring the show today. Remember to visit audibletrial.com/ActorsAnonymousPodcast, and you get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. Check it out.